This common lizard is hiding an ancient secret right on its forehead. It's a feature that sounds like it was pulled straight from mythology, yet it's as real as the scales on its back. If you stare at an iguana long enough, you might just spot it. A small, pearly, almost opalescent dot right in the center of its head. This isn't a scar or some weird marking. It's a mysterious third eye. But this isn't an eye for seeing, at least not in the way you and I do. It doesn't look out at the world and form images. So, what is this real-life superpower, and what can it actually do? The answer is more incredible than you might think, and it unlocks a story that takes us back hundreds of millions of years, revealing a sensory world that's almost alien to our own. This isn't just about a weird quirk of anatomy, it's about a living, breathing, evolutionary relic that gives the iguana a crucial key to survival. What if I told you that this chill-looking lizard is equipped with a biological security camera? A sensor so perfectly tuned to the world above that it acts as a permanent guardian against death from the sky. This third eye, known by scientists as the parietal eye, can't see your face, but it can sense a shadow passing overhead, triggering an instant, life-saving bolt to safety. It's a direct link to the brain that gives the iguana a sixth sense for danger. And that's just the beginning. This ancient organ is way more than just a predator alarm. It's the master controller for the iguana's entire life, from its sleep schedule to its body temperature. To really get what this bizarre feature is all about, we need to travel way back in time, and I mean way back. We're talking before the dinosaurs, to a time when the very first vertebrates were making their mark. Fossil evidence shows that tons of ancient animals, from early fish to the ancestors of mammals, had a distinct hole in the top of their skulls. Paleontologists call this the parietal foramen, and it was the socket for a working third eye. This wasn't some rare mutation, it was standard equipment. Even our own distant, mammal-like relatives, the therapsids, had one. So, what happened to it? Well, as mammals and birds evolved toward being warm-blooded, this external light sensor just wasn't as necessary anymore. Our ancestors moved into different lifestyles. Many became nocturnal, and our bodies developed internal ways to regulate our temperature. The third eye became redundant. Over millions of years, the genes for it were switched off. The hole in the skull sealed up, and the eye vanished, leaving only an echo deep inside our brains, the pineal gland. But reptiles like the iguana took a totally different evolutionary road. As cold-blooded, or ectothermic, creatures, their entire lives are ruled by the sun. For them, the third eye remained a priceless tool. It didn't disappear, it got refined. Today, the iguana, along with other reptiles like the tuatara and some other lizards, are living windows into this ancient sensory world. They carry a piece of biological hardware on their heads that was once nearly universal, a direct, living link to a time when seeing the sky was a fundamental part of staying alive. So if this third eye doesn't see images, what's it actually doing? Let's get a closer look. The parietal eye, which sits just under a thin see-through scale, is built very differently from the iguana's two regular eyes. It has a basic lens and retina, but it's not made for focus or perceiving color like our eyes are. Instead of making a picture, it works more like a super sophisticated light meter. Its whole job is to detect changes in light, how bright it is, how long it lasts, and even the different wavelengths of light. Think of it like the light sensor on your phone. It doesn't know what's in the room, but it knows if it's bright or dark and adjusts your screen automatically. The iguana's parietal eye works on a similar principle. but it's infinitely more complex and absolutely vital for survival. A dedicated nerve connects it directly to the pineal complex in the brain, which includes the super important pineal gland. This direct line to the brain is what makes it so powerful. There's no complex image processing needed. It's a simple, brutally efficient system. Light hits the sensor, a signal zips to the brain, and a behavior is triggered. It's even sensitive to specific kinds of light, like UV light, which allows it to gather a rich tapestry of information from the sun that goes way beyond just bright or dark. This brings us to its most dramatic and life-saving function, the anti-predator alarm system. Iguanas spend a lot of time basking out in the open, which makes them sitting ducks for predators from above like hawks and other birds of prey. Their two side-facing eyes give them a wide view, but they can't just stare at the sky all day. That's where the third eye comes in. Positioned perfectly on top of its head, the parietal eye is constantly monitoring the sky. The second a predator's shadow causes a sudden dip in light, the eye sends an immediate danger signal to the brain. This triggers a pure instinctual escape response. The iguana doesn't stop to think or identify the threat, it just bolts for cover. You can see this happen in real time. An iguana chilling in the sun will suddenly scramble for no reason. An observer can see often because of the faint shadow of a bird flying high overhead. A shadow a person might not even notice. And this isn't just a theory. It's a well-documented behavior that gives the iguana a critical split-second advantage. Without this sky eye, iguanas would be way more vulnerable to aerial attacks. It's a real-life superpower, an early warning system perfected over millions of years to keep the iguana one step ahead of death from above. But the story doesn't stop there. That predator detector trick is its most dramatic ability, but its other jobs are just as critical. This one little organ is the master regulator of the iguana's entire internal world. For starters, it manages the iguana's circadian rhythm, its 24-hour biological clock. By sensing the changing light of dawn and dusk, the parietal eye tells the brain when to be active and when to rest. It directly controls the pineal gland's production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep cycles in tons of animals, including us. When bright light hits the parietal eye, melatonin is suppressed, keeping the iguana awake and alert. As the sun goes down, the lack of light triggers melatonin production, preparing the body for sleep. This internal clock is also tied directly to thermoregulation. As a cold-blooded animal, an iguana depends on the sun to warm its body. The parietal eye acts like a built-in thermostat, helping the iguana tell how strong the sunlight is. It signals when it's time to bask and warm up, and just as importantly, when it's absorbed enough heat and needs to find shade to avoid overheating. This process is essential for everything from digestion to saving energy. On top of all that, this sense of time and season, measured by the changing length of days, helps regulate hormones related to reproduction. In short, this tiny third eye is the iguana's calendar, letting it know when the seasons are changing and when it's time to mate. The iguana's entire life, its safety, its sleep, its temperature, and its ability to reproduce is orchestrated in large part by this one unassuming spot on its head. The natural world is packed with these kinds of incredible hidden superpowers. From the iguana's third eye to other animal secrets we have yet to uncover, evolution has cooked up some truly mind-bending solutions for survival. If you were amazed by this trip into the secret life of the iguana, do us a favor and hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on, because you won't want to miss our next dive into the shocking science of the animal kingdom. And we want to hear from you. Let us know in the comments what other animal mysteries you think we should investigate next. So, the iguana's mysterious third eye isn't a gateway to another dimension or some kind of psychic tool. The truth is far more practical and in many ways way more impressive. It's a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. The parietal eye is a ghost of our own evolutionary past, a feature most of the animal kingdom left behind, but one the iguana held on to and perfected. It is a silent guardian, a clock, a calendar, and a thermostat all rolled into one. It can't form an image, but it provides a vision of the world that is absolutely essential for survival. A vision of light, shadow, time, and season. So the next time you see an iguana, take a closer look at the top of its head. You'll find that small, grayish, opalescent spot. And now you'll know you're not just looking at a lizard. You're looking at an ancient survivor, armed with a real-life superpower that has stood the test of hundreds of millions of years.